Hello and welcome back to Boring Dead Gaming, where today we're going to be playing some more Lex Imperialis, the story DLC for Rogue Trader. Now we're here at the Adeptus Administratum on Dargonus, where we're going to go and report our
beneath my feet.
our success in the previous missions. So let's see where we go. Probably here. Towering piles of papers and endless shelves heaving with ledgers evoke special reverence for the laws of the God Emperor in the hearts of the Adeptus Administratum. Okay, there's this prefect. Sacred Scroll, the 1005 admonitions of Master of Inventory Avicillus to the Adepts of the Administratum. Alright. Prefect Inscribia Vultur. The shriveled insect-like old woman greets you with a keen look.
Welcome back to the Temple of Law and Order, your ladyship. Now, I've already been informed that you are here about Thasera.
Prefect Volta nods to herself and snaps her brittle fingers, prompting a servo skull to flit closer, the creaking of its quill filling the air.
Begin entry 51/4-Alpha. In the matter of the world of Thasera and his obligation to pay the imperial tithe, this audience with the prefect of the Adeptus Administratum is now in session. Now then, what were your findings, Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius?
I think I'll report myself. Let's do it. A heretic had seized power on Thasera. I had him executed and assigned a representative in his place.
I see.
The old woman looks at you intently over her ocular lenses.
This is regrettable news. Even if your action was forced by circumstances, the loss of the governor means the loss of the very stability that any servant of the administratum is immutably obligated to uphold and protect. Well, let us get to the record then.
The prefect turns to the servo skull.
Rogue trader Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius effected the execution of the governor of Thasera appointed by the Adeptus Administratum and entrusted the governance of the planet to an individual who possesses no expertise necessary for such a monumental responsibility. Preliminary damage assessment and restoration forecast of the world's key structures. Class A. Severe. Noted and recorded.
We might not want to say that. Seneschal will give you an account of it. Reporting to anyone in person would be beneath my station. Oh.
I'm afraid I cannot accept another person's report.
Alright, fine. I discovered a warp-active mineral on Thasera and ordered it to be studied. If the resource proves sufficiently useful to the Imperium, you must include it in the tithe. The prefect grimaces.
I can quite confidently deem that outcome to be adverse to the interests of the Imperium. Alas, your ladyship, I am duty-bound to deliver an exact and impartial assessment of the events. Rogue trader Dahlia von Borinicus von Valancius authorized the study of a presumably warp-corrupted material located on the world Thasera. Due to the danger of the planet resulting from this decision, tithe shipments from Thasera can no longer be considered safe and are to be halted until further notice. Noted and recorded.
Oh dear. The prefect chews on her lip in thought.
I will be frank with you, your ladyship. The conclusions that were drawn regarding the Thasera inspection were far from satisfactory. I hope my words will help you revise your approach to executing the Imperium's will in the Corona's expanse in future.
With a tap of her nail, she dismisses the servo skull. I took care of a problematic world of yours, and you're twisting the facts regarding my efforts. The prefect's ocular lenses flash as she replies in an offended tone.
I, his lowly and unworthy servant, have no right to twist any facts. My duty is to assess consequences and do everything I can to make sure the Imperium receives what is owed. That is the purpose of my existence.
Suddenly the old woman's tone becomes less stern and almost didactic.
Speaking from my wealth of experience, if I do say so myself, taking care of the Imperium's prosperity is a heavy burden, albeit an honourable one. The fact that even a rogue trader can run into difficulties while doing it only further confirms my many years of observations.
How did you obtain such detailed information about the events on Thasera?
Duty dictates that Adeptus Administratum officials always be adequately informed. Otherwise, our service to the Imperium's order would be of rather questionable use. Unfortunately, it is for this same reason that I cannot disclose my sources to you.
Fine. Well, one way or another, we can consider the matter of Thessera closed, am I correct?
Closed and recorded, yes.
The old woman smacks her lips in satisfaction.
However, that was just the first item on the agenda. Now on to the next matter.
The prefect beckons over another servo skull, which obediently takes its place at her side.
Begin entry 52/1 Sigma. Competency assessment of Proctor Solomon Anther, based on his performance during the mission on the world Thessera.
You hear a painful metallic creak as Solomon's augmented hand clenches into a fist.
Competency assessment? Very well, Prefect, I am listening.
Solomon did nothing that could be considered a violation of the Lex Imperialis.
So, as to avoid misunderstanding, allow me to clarify that I am not making any judgment, but rather gathering information at Marshal Strux's request.
The prefect turns to Solomon.
Proctor Anther, you will be evaluating your own conduct in this instance. For my part, I will merely state a few key points. Let us begin. How would you describe your performance, taking into account the following facts?
Voltaire produces a parchment scroll.
You took part in the execution of an administratum appointee without its appropriate permission. You also allowed yourself to be captured, thus endangering your mission and imperiling the valuable equipment issued to you by the Adeptus Arbites. What is more, you sanctioned a tithe-related decision that carries adverse consequences for the Imperium.
The old woman pauses.
That is all. Proceed to your self-evaluation.
Solomon's heavy gaze is fixed upon the prefect, as he slowly forces the first word out of his jaws as if they have turned to stone.
I took every effort and was acting solely in the name of the Lex Imperialis. However, the outcome of the mission speaks for itself. My verdict is thus that my performance in the Thessera case was inadequate.
Noted and recorded.
The prefect's immaculately polished ocular lenses bore into you once more.
Now that the Thessera inspection report has been properly entered into the record, allow me, on behalf of the Adeptus Administratum, to officially extend our gratitude to you for the support you provided to us. May the von Valancius name be forever praised, and may the Emperor protect your dynasty for many generations to come. That said, I must now request your assistance in a different capacity. A number of highly important court cases have accumulated at the Palace of Justice, the kind that require formal resolutions by the rogue trader herself.
Handle it yourself.
Countless cases do indeed pass through the Administratum, but a very minute number of them are beyond our power to process. As stipulated by our centuries-long covenant with your dynasty, any disputes that are likely to have truly grave consequences, regardless of the final decision made, are to be reviewed, without exception, by the rogue trader. Only your sacred authority can force the parties to accept the verdict and not rise up in response. We've already delayed the proceedings for as long as we could, but now we are obligated to pass these cases over to you. This order of things was established by previous rogue traders, not the Administratum. I assure you that your participation in the court of law is not only an homage to an ancient tradition, but also an urgent necessity.
How will the trial proceed?
Well, the defendants will speak first, whereupon you can ask me clarifying questions on the case. And then...
The old woman gives you a meaningful look over her ocular lenses.
A death sentence must be passed. You are, of course, free to judge otherwise, but an execution is preferable, since in every case that will come before you, an outcome without highly unpleasant consequences is unlikely. Executions reduce the number of malcontents and motivate prospective defendants to solve their problems before they come under the purview of the rogue trader's court.
Alright. One of the rogue trader's many duties is to mete out justice, I agree.
There is one other thing, rogue trader. By the order of Marshal Strux, Proctor Anther has been assigned a short-term mission. He is to take his leave of your retinue at dawn. As this is a matter of extreme urgency, the Adeptus Arbites would appreciate your understanding.
What mission?
Proctor Anther is to lead an arbitrator squad tasked with neutralizing some dangerous criminals who are threatening the Administratum's interests. A rather mundane assignment, as you may have gathered.
Well, that is unacceptable. Find yourselves another arbitrator to deal with your problems.
Sadly, that is not an option. The Marshal believes that out of the entire arbitrator force, only Proctor Anther possesses the training required to successfully complete this mission. I cannot imagine that the brief absence of one individual, whose services, may I remind you, were temporarily lent to you by the Adeptus Arbites, will be in any way damaging to the dynasty's affairs.
I must follow the Marshal's orders, rogue trader. I will return to your ship as soon as my duty to the Adeptus Arbites permits.
But the doggy, can I keep the doggy? Now I have relegated my current tasks in advance, and thus am ready to escort you to the Palace of Justice immediately. Please, follow me.
Fine. That's a large cannon. Court Administrator, you are greeted by an impeccably dressed man with a perfectly straight back. An Arbites scale emblem is embroidered on his clothes.
Glory to House von Valancius. We are honored to welcome you to the Palace of Justice, your ladyship. Do you wish to proceed to the session at once, or will you grace me with any questions I might humbly answer?
Let's just begin.
Please follow me.
Prefect. Her dreary vox-amplified voice carries across the hall.
The court will now hear the case DP-1453/2, the doleful host against the astropathic choir of Dargonus. Representatives for the parties will present their arguments following standard procedure.
Okay. So we've got Sister Juth, a woman with lines of scripture all over her skin, folds her arms into an aquila. My name is Sister Juth, and I represent the doleful host. O God Emperor's anointed one, we came upon a group of heretics whose minds brimmed with the most shameless thoughts. We captured them and tortured them as befits their transgressions. From what we were able to discern from their wailing and screaming, the head of the astropathic choir is plotting to betray House von Valancius. No one is a liar when flame is caressing their flesh. The doleful host surrounded the choir building and demanded that the heretic be handed over. It was solely out of respect for the Anointed One that we refrained from burning down the wayward heretics dead on the spot. However, say but the word, and we shall take him, that he may undergo a righteous cleansing. Okay.
The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighed on the scales of justice. The representative will retreat to the Chapel of Patience to await the verdict.
Master Angelio. The gaunt man dressed in astropath's robes is standing tall, but his voice trembles with fury.
I am Master Angelio. I represent the Dargonus astropathic choir. These insidious and ignorant people are passing off their victims' ravings as truth. Your ladyship, people will say anything under torture just to make the agony stop. We have served House von Valancius faithfully for decades. Master Pras, the longest of all. Please order them to stand down.
The Master of the Court repeats the same monotonous formula, bidding the other representative to leave the courtroom. Yeah, what are these scales things? Scales of justice. Yeah, I get it. Why are they putting things on the scales?
The scales of justice are a sacred relic installed as a testament to the alliance between the von Valancius dynasty on one side and the Adeptus Arbites and the Administratum on the other. Items of symbolic value representing the parties' arguments are placed on the scales, whereupon the machine spirits, in a way known only to them, evaluate the true worth of their claims. Usually this makes justice a largely automated process, but in these particular cases the machine spirits appear to be perplexed, which further proves the necessity of your intervention.
I would like to hear out the parties. No, okay, yeah. No. Give me details about them. I want to see who among them is trustworthy.
Well, the doleful host is a respected cult of the God Emperor. The Adeptus Ministorum has deemed them to be paragons of virtue, who combat every manner of heresies and has enlisted their aid in various conflicts. Naturally, the ecclesiarchy stops short of counting them among its warriors, but it uses them in very similar ways. The astropathic choir hardly needs an introduction. They are some of the most valuable servants of the Imperium, without whom any and all communication between your worlds would collapse. The Dargona's choir took horrific casualties in the recent major warp storm. Master Prass made an enormous effort to at least partially restore communication. While we may not have proof of his innocence, Prass's dedication to his duty is beyond doubt. The old woman locks her shriveled fingers together. As you can see, this is an intricate situation. Imperium law test succeeded. You see clearly now that no matter what decision you make, it will backfire on you. However, there is a way to benefit from this. Allow the host to dispense their vigilante justice, then accuse the fanatics of violating an ancient agreement that forbade the ecclesiarchy from having its own army, and proceed to confiscate the host's property. Sure, okay. Let's try and get to the root of the matter, though, perhaps. Vigdis, quick, ask our ship's choirmaster whether Master Prass of Dargonus has been known to engage in any compromising behaviour.
At once, Lord Captain.
The Palace of Justice falls silent for several minutes until Vigdis's voice returns.
Choirmaster Weiss has known Master Prass for quite a long time. He has made a very measured statement to the effect that for some time now the mental images conveyed by Prass have taken on a shade of profound anxiety and have become more aloof and detached overall. Zachary Weiss attributes this to Prass's horrific experience during the warp storm, but he is less than completely sure, as there is still something that sets the Dargonus Choirmaster's messages apart from those of his fellow survivors.
Alright, what do people think? Lord Captain, without a choirmaster, the power of Dargonus' astropaths would be significantly diminished. Unless a worthy replacement is found for Master Prass, he cannot be executed. The Seneschal frowns. There is a quarter world that owes us an old debt which can be repaid with a seasoned astropath. We can make the request, although it would leave the planet in question with barely any means of communication.
An almost identical incident took place in a world that belonged to one of the High Lords of Terra. Notably, the defendant also failed to show up to court in person, while the plaintiff was a minor Imperium cult seeking to engage in vigilantism. The verdict was to suppress the disturbance and the dispensation of mob justice harshly by having both parties to the case executed.
Solomon, are you suggesting that both parties to the case be killed just because of precedent?
Not precedent, but a record in the Book of Judgment, the physical manifestation of the Lex Imperialis. This will not only demonstrate your adherence to the Emperor's law, but also remind all the self-styled judges who has the real authority to pass a verdict here, thus putting an end to their discretionary punishments. Besides, such a verdict will be doubly sacred, being backed by the word of both a High Lord of Terra and a rogue trader.
Further investigation? Right, read past judgment. As you wish, your ladyship. Who is to face the death penalty? Okay, what happens here? Efficiency +2. Security +2. Yeah, well, it's going to be one of these. Let's do this one. Let us see Sister Juth prove her faith. She may execute Prass if she acknowledges that the host is a minor army of the ecclesiarchy, for indeed it is one in essence. If the sister agrees, then upon Prass's execution the doleful host will be sentenced to exile and expropriation, lest they be tempted to take up arms again. Thought they were going to get blasted with a cannon. Spoken like a true heir to Lady Theodora, who could squeeze gold out of a rock. Sister Judith would never recant her statement. She will have no choice but to accept your conditions. Okay, we've got some cargo. The prefect proceeds, matter-of-factly, to the next scroll. The court will now hear petition CR-1547/33 restated. The petitioner is His Eminence Cardinal Anvilus. Your arguments, please, Cardinal.
A gaunt man raises his bloodshot eyes at you. For a moment all sounds cease, even the scratching of the countless servo-skulls quills. The man's gaze is full of a pain so strong and undiluted that your breath seizes in your throat.
I am impure, O Emperor's anointed one. I am beset by impure thoughts, but no one believes my confessions. I have been giving away the treasures I possess, only for people to bring me more. Worse still is the knowledge that I am leading people astray. They look at me and believe a state of perfect grace is attainable, while I am very tired.
The Cardinal blinks away a tear and continues,
But most terrible of all is that my brethren, the preachers of the Cronus expanse, see me as a holy man. Their delusion has been so persistent that they sent a petition to Holy Terror, asking that I be made a saint. That was when I became firm in my decision to submit to torture in front of my congregation, thus reminding them that no holiness exists unless bestowed as a gift by the God Emperor. Even clerics of my rank can and must repent, thus becoming more pure every day. Please allow me to undergo mortal torture in his name in front of my petitioners.
Am I hearing this correctly? Is the Cardinal asking to be tortured to death for his wickedness?
Yes, that is correct. In addition, he insists on your subjects bearing witness to it, as a lesson to them, so to speak. To refuse a cardinal is impious in itself, but to execute one who is a saint in all but name...
Persuasion test succeeded. You devise an elegant rendering of the sentence, one that will convince everyone that you are right and save you from being branded a saint killer. All you must do is accuse the Cardinal of intending to murder an all but canonized individual. Alright, let's see if we get any other options. What does the retinue say? Argenta shakes her head.
Wise counsel is required here, and it is not to be found within these walls. Reverend Hieronymus would understand the workings of His Eminence's soul. Entrust him to the good shepherd of the Drusians.
Situation analysis complete. Let the paradox cease. Let functionality triumph. Suggestion. Use the unit Cardinal Anvelus's organic remains to construct a servo-skull herald, and place it in an automated chapel. The status of sainthood will be extended to the liturgical mechanism.
According to the Lex Imperialis, a candidate saint may personally challenge their sainting by petitioning the ecclesiarch on Holy Terror. Sidestepping the head of the imperial cult is a violation of the Emperor's law. Since astropathic communication with the rest of the Imperium has been disrupted, I propose to put Cardinal Anvelas on a ship that crosses the moor, so that he can submit his request with every formality observed.
But Solomon, the moor is closed.
That is nothing to diminish the stipulations of the Lex Imperialis. Besides, following the letter of the law absolves you of the necessity of tainting your hands with the blood of a potential saint. Either the Cardinal will cross the moor, thus proving his sainthood, or he will perish if the Emperor wills it. As you can see, the Lex Imperialis has all the answers.
Alright, let's pass judgment.
Attention, the rogue trader speaks.
What have we got? Prometheum and mechanisms for Pascal's suggestion. Plus 800 reputation points with the Drusians for Argenta's suggestion. Security plus 2 for Solomon. So what was the one that we came up with? Is it? I assume it's this one. Yeah, I don't know about putting him to death. I mean, there is this one. 800 RP is pretty good, though. I'm going to follow Argenta. I grant the Drusians the right to decide His Eminence's fate. It is my belief that Reverend Hieronymus is unsurpassed in his comprehension of humility and holiness.
The head of the Drusians would hardly deny the Cardinal's peculiar request. However, the matter will be outside your jurisdiction at that point, and Reverend Hieronymus will appreciate your high trust in him when it comes to questions of faith.
Okay.
The rogue trader has made her will clear. Cardinal Anvelas will leave the Palace of Justice and accept his fate. Let us move on to the last case for today. The court will now hear case DP-1646/7, Lady Mols Secundus against the late Lord Mols. Lord Moles being deceased, he will be represented by his progeny, Agartha and oh god, how do you even say that? Gillis Moles. Representatives for the parties will present their arguments following standard procedure.
Okay, the lady.
Your ladyship, I am Lady Moles Secundus. Only 8 cycles ago, a man broke into my house posing as my husband, the late Lord Moles. Contrary to what I know, he denies that he was killed by pirates. Instead, he purportedly survived thanks to the God Emperor's providence. However, I hold here his death certificate issued by the Administratum, which clearly states that my husband passed away. I demand that this fraud be executed.
The woman belligerently waves around a scroll on which the words "declared dead" are clearly visible.
The arguments are acknowledged and
shall be weighed on the scales of justice. The representative will retreat to the Chapel of Patience to await the verdict. Agartha Moles.
Your ladyship, our father did survive. He really was captured by pirates who were going to demand ransom, but the Imperial Navy managed to board the ship and rescue him. After he went missing, our mother, Lady Moles, arranged for a death certificate before we received the good news. Now we are in the humiliating position of having to prove that our father is alive, while our mother is living it up with her new husband, Lord Secundus, and has taken over our family business. We implore you to restore Lord Moles to his life and name. He is humbly awaiting your decision in the Chapel of Patience.
All arguments have been acknowledged that the rogue trader's verdict be delivered. What does Lord Moles have to say? The prefect plays a vox recording on one of the servo skulls. The softer voice is interspersed with static, but you are able to make out the words. I am Moles. When the pirates had captured me, I thought I was done for. But fate proved to be more gracious than that. I hurried home only from my own house by my servants and learned that Lady Moles had already had me declared dead and married Lord Secundus. She'd also taken control of our everything. Agartha and Gillis have recognized me. I'm losing my mind.
What does the Moles family do? The Moles family manufactures nutritional rations. They supply the Astra Militarum as well as worlds that have no food production of their own. With the Lord at the helm, they cover the needs of 3 regiments and 5 worlds. Now it is 5 regiments and 12 worlds. One might say Lady Moles Secundus has done much better than her husband did.
Commerce test succeeded. Lady Moles Secundus's talents are self-evident. She could easily boost production on any planet. What might be called her promotion under the guise of punishment would bring tangible benefits. You just so happen to think of several backwater worlds that have good potential, but lack the capable stewardship to match it. Alright, let's ask opinions.
This is a complicated situation, but Lady Moles Secundus was acting in the Imperium's interests. She had shouldered the duty of care for the family business and was in no position to wallow in her grief for cycles upon cycles.
Cassia throws back her shoulders and says in a dignified voice,
A marriage between people of noble birth is a union of 2 servants of the Emperor. Duty towards the Imperium is at the heart of that union. If there comes a long period of time when one of the spouses is unable to fulfill their obligations, the marriage loses its meaning. If you could codify this understanding in law, that would help resolve this situation.
I don't know what she's talking about.
If Lady Moles Secundus is right, then her children are the impostor's accomplices and are guilty of defaming the authenticity of Administratum documents.
Now Solomon has enough sang-froid in him for a regiment.
Let the woman know that her heirs must face the same fate as the criminal, so it stipulates the Emperor's law.
Alright, Prefect, relay Solomon's wards to Lady Moles Secundus.
As you wish.
The Prefect's dry fingers tap quickly on her data slate. Soon afterwards, she looks up from the vid screen and says in a colourless voice,
Lady Moles Secundus has confessed to bribing an Administratum official and is pleading for her offspring to be spared.
Alright, let me pass my judgment.
Quiet in the courtroom. What is your decision, your ladyship?
Okay, what have we got in terms of results? Yeah. We're going to do this one. This sounded like a good choice. I hereby sentence Lady Moles Secundus to a duty of exploration and development of the Protectorate's fringe worlds. Give her everything she needs to conduct her business. I expect her results to be impressive. As she has been found guilty, Lord Moles is to be deemed alive.
Lady Mol Secundus will depart for her place of exile before today ends. Arbitrators, carry out the sentence.
Alright, well that seemed alright. As the last attendants leave the courtroom, the prefect turns to you with a delighted expression.
Lady Theodora held court sessions like this to strengthen her subjects' faith in the Lex Imperialis, and their fear of breaching it. A most useful practice, wouldn't you agree?
It was amusing at first, but not for long. If we're finally done, I'll take my leave.
Of course, your ladyship, I dare not take up any more of your time.
Whoops. Okay, so what does our journal say? Not a lot. Let's leave here, and then maybe something will present itself. A sacred symbol of the Imperium's justice, implacable and unsparing. Okay, do some of this stuff. Let's get some goods. The cogitator is filled with data on the workings of the Palace of Justice, listing things such as the names of servants and details of executions. The number of people entering the building is always greater than that of those leaving it. Yeah, I bet it is.
Powers unseen uncover my path.
The might of the Imperium's justice in the form of a multi-melter. The roaring torrents of flame it generates leave criminals... oh, God. Without a single chance.
Triumphant as always.
Expert excerpts from the Lex Imperialis with addenda. The changes personally signed by Theodora von Valancius reflect the current situation in the Cronus Expanse. What else we got? To appropriate another's possessions is a transgression against his will, for he has divided all of humanity into those who are worthy of having said possessions and those who are not. Keep this open, it does seem to like the text goes pretty quick. The cogitator is filled with the personal data of the executed. All their possessions have been meticulously accounted for and deposited in the storerooms of the administratum. Why can't we?
Intriguing.
To kill with the intent of enriching oneself is a crime. To kill for a righteous cause is a deed to be honoured and exalted. Lying is a transgression that burdens the soul of the one who commits it. Lying to a superior is a crime against the Imperium itself, for it disrupts its blessed structure.
My house would be proud
Financial
of me.
reports. The procurement data does not match up with the spending, but this has been gracefully covered up by way of a shrinkage column. That looks like it could
My
be a...
website reveals something.
The machine god grants me insight.
Steel Triad. Now, I saw one of these for sale. This is something that if you use multiples of them, they provide other benefits. So we'll take that. See if there's an argument. Mind you, I like the one that lets Solomon reload his shotgun for free. These monumental scales barely fit inside the Palace of Justice. They were crammed into the hall after the Adeptus Arbites arrived. Okay, let's just have a look. Did we get everything? Kind of seems like it. Alright.
A minute of your time, rogue trader. I wanted to inform you that Glyto will be staying aboard your ship while I'm away on my mission for the Administratum. His augmetics have taken quite a hit after everything that went down on Thasara, so I am putting him into the care of your tech priests.
Your dog will be well taken care of, Solomon.
Thank you for hearing me out. That is all I meant to say.
Okay. We do get to keep the doggy. That's the system that I don't currently have a path to. That's for Argenta's quest, isn't it? Which I did do in the main campaign, so I'm not in a rush to kind of repeat the stuff I did there. Wraith Tawi, is that it? Yeah, okay. So we'll leave that for now, because I have done that in the main campaign. Now I need Alvia boss. Yeah, I kind of wanted to get up. Oh, actually it's within a jump, so... Actually, no, 2 jumps. There was something there that needed my attention, so let's go there. That's fine, we've seen that before. Need to go back to Kiava Gamma, apparently. Nightmares and tiredness, I'm pretty sure we've seen everything there. Alright, Vivos. What do we got? The cult of the Final Dawn has poisoned the colony's water supplies. All who drink from the tainted sources start mutating at frightening speeds. Ooh. I don't want complacency. Request support from the Cognizance fleet. Quickly and efficiently, the tech priest set up a powerful water treatment plant. The purified water has a peculiar taste, but at least it's safe to drink. Now, was there anything else here I could build? No. Alright, I guess it requires my assistance. Lord Captain, the situation on Foulstone requires your attention. One of the servants tasked with the Crucible's maintenance has declared publicly that he has been liberated of all worldly concerns, for he is none other than the reincarnation of Saint Cognatius. There are some extremely questionable reports claiming that he has performed miracles. Supported by a congregation garnered by preaching, he has asked for your ladyship's permission to depart from Foulstone with the Crucible in tow, so that he may continue St. Cognatius's work and use the relic to transform worlds, ones true to the faith of the Imperium, into lush, splendorous gardens. It goes without saying that such a generous gift to the Cronus Expanse could bring great renown to your ladyship, but at a heavy cost. Foulstone would turn back into a wasteland, and you would lose the prestige that comes with having charge over such a valuable relic. What do people think?
I have had ample experience with saintly saviors like him in the past. Whatever great cause they proclaim as their mission, they genuinely, naively believe that people really do need them. If we round up enough orphans and lepers who would trip over themselves to beg our prophet for salvation, he will soon forget all about the Crucible and his holy mission. I know a few guilds of professional beggars who would be delighted to offer their services to us.
I don't remember Heinrich's voice, actually.
False prophets in the street are a common occurrence. Their sermons breed turmoil, riots, and acts of disobedience. The Inquisition recommends that such unstable agents be isolated and quickly removed.
The Archenemy's lies take on many guises, but the Emperor's miracles are 100-fold stronger. On more than a few occasions he has bestowed epiphanies upon the faithful, even those of the humblest origin. I myself bear the name of a poor orphan who was granted miraculous powers by his grace. So give me time, and I will find you the most loyal agents to escort Brother Purevoice on his travels. They will keep him safe if he is pure, or punish him should they sense deceit in his words. But I have a feeling that his rebirth is a true wonder.
Sure. As in, no, I don't think so. Let's take Jay's thing. See to it that a delegation of doleful wretches keep our Saint Cognatius distracted.
Gladly, Shireen. Manipulating blessed simpletons is the easiest thing in the world. There is nothing they crave more than to feel needed.
The pure-voiced prophet was mobbed by an entourage of professional beggars and cripples. Upon seeing how many people need him on Foulstone, the Saint Reincarnate gave up on his ambitions of spreading the faith to new worlds. He vowed not to leave the planet for as long as there remained even a single soul in need of his help. He only left Foulstone once, to bless the Lord Captain's ship and counsel her to carry on St. Cognatius's holy cause. Oh... I think that... Yeah, okay, that was because we did an upgrade, wasn't it? So Kiava, we needed to go... Okay, we need to go back to Dargonus as well. Fine. There were some reasons to go here, weren't there? A little bit of a trek. Oh. Lord Captain, I'm afraid I have bad news. The esteemed Master Anthar will no longer be able to accompany you. According to a message from the Adeptus Arbites, he has been discharged and is currently an overseer on Viabos 6, which has come from there. However, Prefect Volta has informed me that you have the authority to challenge that decision and have Master Anthar reinstated. Why was he discharged? Do you recall the internal Adeptus Arbites mission he went on not so long ago? Well, as far as I know, it was a failure, which led to Master Anthar being deemed unworthy of his rank and unfit to serve you. I would like to note that his cybermastiff is still on board. Due to the damage the dog sustained on Thassara, Master Anthar left it in the care of your tech priests. I heard there was an implant malfunction. The servants of the Omnisire have patched up the creature, but they have also warned that a final synchronization of its implants with those of Master Anthar is required before the cybermastiff can be considered fully repaired. I'll go and collect him in person. Then I will send a request to have Master Anthar reinstated, and notify the overseers on Viabos 6 of your impending arrival. I was just there. No, this is a random event we've already seen. However, it looks like there might be a rumour here to deal with, so let's just pop in quickly. It's probably this unknown anomaly, right? Let's go and check it out. I'm assuming I've seen it before. The endless canvas of the cosmic void is interrupted by what looks like a bottomless hole. Sight cannot pierce it. No stars, no planets, no cosmic dust. There is only total darkness. The Augur team has failed to glean any information from the anomaly, and under the influence of a mysterious force, the void ship is slowly drawn to the heart of the darkness. The officers on the bridge worriedly look up from their cogitators. The machine's screens turn on and off chaotically, not obeying any of their operators' commands. The walls of the bridge, the crew's silhouettes, and the ship's holy machines tremble and stretch out like rubber bands. Alerts of malfunctioning cogitators and maddened chronographs come in from every deck, as do reports of indescribable hallucinations gripping the crew. While the tech priests are trying to placate the machine spirits, Helmsman Ravor reports that the situation is bad. Navigational systems are barely functional, and the invisible force is getting stronger and accelerating, ceaselessly dragging the vessel into its dark bosom. There is little time, and the Lord Captain must decide, leave the dangerous place or give in to the Force and study the anomaly from within. Let's use this first, determine if the archives contain data on any such anomalies. A few operators managed to wring a minute amount of useful information out of the archives. Such anomalies are extremely rare, randomly appearing gravitational wells which connect different points in space. Where such a well leads is impossible to predict. Let's go to the middle of the anomaly. The closer the vessel gets to the hole, the faster it is pulled in. Thousands of people on every deck are gripped by panic. Their bodies are turning into thin, twisting threads, fraying and tearing to pieces, exposing veins, bones, and internal organs. Falling apart into screws, plates, and bolts, tech priests continue to offer relentless prayers to the machine spirits. But their binary chants melt into the endless screams and cries for help. Finally, the void ship jumps into the cosmic tunnel with a torturous lurch. Adamat 2. Where have we ended up? Okay, well, I mean, I have been here. I can tell because I've got some stuff mining. Recolage's plot. Have I been there? Let's just check. I think I have. I think that symbol indicates that I have explored it, but... The former Recologer colony greets you with Vox silence. It would seem the ship has been deserted in the time you've been gone. Alright, dismantle the vessel then. The workers and servitors hastily flood the empty decks. Your people will need time to fully dismember the old ship, but until then this forgotten chunk of metal belongs to the von Valancius dynasty. Okay. Well, we're in a different part of space now. Travel through a wormhole. Now, where are we? Is the question. We're actually quite near to one of the planets I wanted to get to, Kiava Gamma. I can't go direct, but... yeah, interesting. Okay. And there's Mundus Valancius, so it hasn't taken us, you know, vastly out of the way. Okay, so let's go to here. Right, so what do you need me to do, guys? This is Foulstone. I thought this was Kiava Gamma. Oh. I might see if I can get to this Explorators thing while we're here, actually. Let's go to the bridge. Right, so we need to go and talk to this guy. Where is Kogikor? Oh, well, you see, your ladyship, it is a tad, broken. While the servitors were busy connecting it to the machine spark, a terrifying noise was suddenly heard, followed by a horrible smell. However, my request to have it repaired so infuriated the engineers that I dared not pester them with any further questions. Alas, after a while, the stench became unbearable, and then came the maggots. The factotum casts a guilty glance at you and sighs heavily. To put it briefly, the Kogikor had to be disposed of. I offer my deepest apologies for failing to preserve that specimen of Thessarian culture. Oh, right, so we got fried. Contact the Curiosity Merchant? I mean, I thought I bought all this stuff, but like... is there anything that would benefit Glyto? Because I think because I'm not an overseer, I think Glyto is the only one. 200% more damage. That feels pretty good. We'll buy that. Give that to him. I don't remember if I've taken these, so I guess I'll take them now. Oh, deals 300% damage. No, I'll take that one actually. That's better. Alright. Okay. Now he doesn't he's not gated by reps, so I don't need to do any trading with him. Yeah, let's do some Pen. So Explorators, here we are. So I need to get up to like 54,000 rep. I might be able to get quite a lot done here. So if I go to Reputation and select Tradable, yeah, that should give me what I need. So that's cool. Let's do that. I guess first of all, let's see what we can trade with them now. I'll get that for Solomon, I suppose. I don't really know kind of what it does, but... that's the one I already bought. I'll buy those. I don't know if they might be good for... what's his face? Pretty sure that's the one that we're already using. I'll leave it there for now, I think. Okay. So, if I go back into colony management... So we should be able to build that final thing... Oh, that's the wrong one. Kiava? Warp Revelation. Okay, so these ones... Project requirements not met. I guess I didn't do... Oh, no, it does have a tick. So what is blocking it? Oh, phlogiston. I don't have enough of. Okay. I didn't do that once. Okay, so is this worth it? I don't know, because I can't compare it to what I'm currently using, but this one... It does seem pretty good. Alright, do it. Right, okay. Let's move off them. This is Kiava Gamp. Why can't I... Let's actually just go to the world over here. The Heartless is there. Cool. The cult of the Final Dawn has poisoned the colony's water supplies. All who drink from the tainted sources start mutating at frightening speed. We've just done this somewhere else. I'll just use the cognizant fleet again. Okay. So, yeah, that was Kiava Gamma. Weird. Okay, well, we want to go... We can go straight to Dargonus. And we will do that now. Right, anywho, back up to Dargonus. Is that everywhere we go? It feels like it. Can I do it from this screen? I guess I have to literally land on the world physically. Okay. The planetary authorities have begun a rigorous purge of dissidents, mutants and apostates. The spree of arrests and executions has the people terrified. This is the same reward. Inspire the people to support the authorities' actions. Upon seeing the planetary authorities not as tyrants, but as wise protectors, the commoners will be delivered from their fear and charged to help the keepers of law and order in their cause of cleansing this world. Lovely. So, why am I losing this phlogiston? Oh well. Right. Well, let's off to Viabos, and we'll pick up Solomon again. I expect this is going to be the next stage of the DLC stuff. That was the one I couldn't do anything with, isn't it? Okay, so let's just go up here. Ooh, 9 profit factor gained. Avoid a collision. The unplanned maneuver was completed without any caused casualties or damage. The unidentified vessel, or perhaps it was a warp mirage, passed us by and made no attempts to follow. Okay, fine. think we'd seen that before, but maybe not with that result. This seems to be in every system we go to. Alright. Back to Via-Boss then. Oh, let's do a bit of hull repair while we're here. Fine, we'll take Heinrichs. We'll just boot him out when it's time to bring Solomon back in. Is this him? Is he coming back? Yeah, I guess so. Senior Jailer.
Greetings, your ladyship. You've come to collect him, haven't you? Overseer Anthar, I mean.
You look a little disturbed. Is Solomon causing trouble?
Oh, certainly not. He is an arbitrator through and through, albeit a discharged one. It's just,
The jailer's rebreather emits a shuddering wheeze.
He is so diligent in his work that us common people cannot keep up.
Alright, what's the problem?
Your ladyship, Via-Boss 6 is a grim and dismal place, but how shall I put this? Master Anthar has made it unbearable. He has introduced new policies. Each shift now begins with a penitential scourging, followed by an inspection. Even the slightest offence merits 10 lashes, a thorough search, and yet more punishment. And I'm talking about the jailers here.
Aren't you in charge here?
I am in charge of just this sector, or was in charge anyway. The head of the colony said that now that we have an ex-arbitrator, we should heed his wisdom and learn from it. Called us planetoid-dwelling dust gorgers too, but that is beside the point.
And you have learned nothing, choosing instead to wallow in cowardice. Are you saying the colony has become less functional?
Quite the opposite. We've never enjoyed such strict discipline. Except people are dying a bit too quickly, on both sides of the bars, I mean. Your ladyship, there have been several attempts on Master Anthar's life. The hate has grown stronger than the fear. Take him away from here, I beg you. Please, just take him away.
Yes, I did come for him. Where is he?
Emperor be praised. I mean, he is not far from here, carrying out routine cell inspections. You should have no trouble finding him.
I'll see him immediately.
Emperor bless you.
The ordinance entitled Anthar's Edict, Amendment 12, contains a minute-by-minute schedule of each prisoner's duties and detailed systems of punishments for them. At the bottom is a seal with the inscription, approved by the colony governor. Alright, let's just keep that open. There might be more of these. Let's try and find the guy.
See, right there.
What have we got? Okay, it's on the other side.
I tread a path unexplored.
Okay, let's not worry about them right now. What's this? Shield bearer's boots. Okay. There is something wriggling in the prisoner's rags, a rat, greedily gnawing the flesh of a still living man. Its emaciated victim only twitches a finger. Convulsively.
The world will bow.
An ordinance entitled Anthar's Edict, Amendment 12, contains a minute-by-minute... Oh, is that the same one? Yeah, it's the same edict. Yeah, same one. Overheating machine. Where is this guy? There he is.
What the? Oh. It doesn't matter, you're already dead.
Solomon turns sharply towards you. He is not wearing a rebreather, and fresh bandages peek out from under his uniform. The former proctor roars, consumed with rage.
Who opened your cells? Who did it? Speak, or your deaths will be...
It seems Solomon is a breath away from lunging for you next, but recognition glimmers in those deranged eyes, and his voice goes quiet, as if all his strength has fled him.
Glyto?
Why are you not wearing a rebreather? The air here is noxious.
I am too used to arbitrator helmets. They do not cover the lower part of the face. As for my well-being, frankly, I couldn't care less.
What happened?
A pathetic attempt on my life. The second one today. One of the jailers left the cells unlocked so the prisoners could do their dirty work. No matter, I will find the culprits and execute each and every one of them.
Kill Solomon? No. I was told you'd been discharged. How did that happen?
I failed the mission. I failed everyone.
Solomon clenches his teeth.
There were too many enemies. The situation was against us. No, I'm not making excuses. It was not my first mission to go awry, but I didn't have Glyto with me. I was sloppy, unfocused. I ordered the retreat too late. I managed to drag one of the arbitrators to the infirmary. The man died of his wounds. Bottom line, the objective was not accomplished. 10 arbitrators were lost and their commander was somehow left alive. Like a coward, I hoped to be executed, but the marshal sent me to rot on Verbos 6 instead. And he was right to do so.
Come, I've already submitted a petition to have you reinstated.
No, stop. I can't leave. I'm guilty.
DX1, pull yourself together.
I have judged myself and handed down the sentence. Not because of the demotion, though it was the last straw. I cannot do it anymore. I cannot look at the lying governors, the scoundrels who succumb to corruption. But above all else, I cannot bear to look at myself, an arbitrator who is coming apart at the seams, who turns into a wreck without his dog, who no longer believes that the Lex Imperialis prevails anywhere at all.
The trial of will is an immutable part of every journey. It is time to combat your weakness and light the fire of true faith in your heart. And what is the sentence?
I will serve on Verbos 6 until either the world itself or its inhabitants end my existence. Until that day, I will mold this prison into a paragon of imperial order.
And what about Glyto?
I don't have the right to keep him anymore.
He reaches his metal fingers towards the cybermastiff's head, but stops just short of touching it.
Deliver him to the marshal. He'll find Glyto a new master.
Solomon slowly raises his hand. His face is twisted in torment. Perhaps his injuries are causing him pain, or perhaps it is the words he's trying to force out.
Glyto. Protocol Mortem 80. Guard the target.
Solomon points a trembling finger at you. But the cybermastiff does not react. The scarlet lights of his visors stare at Solomon, and not a muscle beneath the dark coat quivers in response to his order to leave his master.
He's not listening to me. Is this the aftermath of that damned mission on Thasera? Or did the tech priests have to reset him to basic protocols? Throne, what difference does it make? My dog, I can't even give him one last order. Why now, Glyto?
Glyto has protected you from the convict. Is that not enough for you?
We used to act as one, but not anymore. The last remnants of my composure are gone. Look at me! I'm a human scrap, not an arbitrator. Just an appendage to a cybermastiff.
I'm not leaving without you.
You can't stand... You will. You can't stand here forever.
Alright, I'm going to go with the iconoclast one. You're in pain and you are hurting yourself even more to block it all out. Wounds need to be healed, not opened up further.
Is this pity? How far must I have fallen in your eyes if it has come to this?
You're only human, just like the people you judge. Make peace with yourself and find a new way to serve the law. Solomon's iron fist unclenches slightly.
I never thought I would take comfort in naive platitudes. Clearly I'm losing my grip.
You protect Glyto and you draw strength from that. Perhaps one day you'll want to protect human lives too.
I'm too used to hating.
Solomon rests his hand on the back of Glyto's neck for the first time since the two of you began talking.
I don't even know what life without hatred would look like. Not so lousy, perhaps.
Verbos 6 has become your twisted reflection. Others' torment is part of your own punishment. You've grown tired of violence, tired of carrying out executions.
None of this is because of me. They all get what they deserve, but for some reason, I no longer feel satisfaction from carrying out my duties. You've convinced me. To the void with Verbos 6. My place is not here. I'm ready to serve once more. I'll head to the ship at once. If you need anything, you can find me at my usual post on the bridge.
Alright, we've regained Solomon. He's not terribly happy about stuff. We're going to take this, which... The wearer can use ranged weapons in melee range. The wearer's ranged attacks against adjacent targets. That's pretty good for someone like Solomon, who uses like close-range shotguns, actually. These are crap, so we'll just store those. Alright, tell you what, let's head back to our ship.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
I'll have one last chat with the senior jailer, just tell him that Solomon's come with us. No, I can't talk to him. Fine, back to the ship. Alright, I just want to have a quick look at Solomon's loadout. And then I've got a couple more things. So, now the shield, yeah, I'll keep it, but I don't think it's as good as what he's wearing. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm going to pop that in cargo, I think. I think that's probably for like a psyker, but I use a staff, so it's fine. That's probably for me. This one, oh no, cargo. This one, what's he currently using? When the wearer kills a target, they gain 10 tool characters till the end of the round. Now this one, I think. So this will help his shotgun use, I think. Yeah, I'll put that in front instead of the shadow field. I think Argenta's already using this. It's a duplicate. I don't think it's going to benefit anyone else, so I'll put that in cargo. Assault Onslaught. I don't know what that is, but it's probably something he uses. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get a pet, so I'm tempted to put all this other stuff into cargo. I think it's for if you have an Overseer class as your main character, I think, and you can choose... But you can, okay, as far as I understand it, you can't choose what type of pet you get. It depends on your background. Like, I think a noble origin only gets, like, an eagle. I think I'm saying that right. Now, I want the one that's going to do 300, so it's this one, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll leave that for now. I was going to have a quick look at Milo. Well, let's do this first. So he's currently got one that deals 150% more damage. So we're going to slot that one in instead. If we go to me... yeah, so at the moment I'm using this, so... Basically it's given me 8 PR, but this one... I would deal an extra 50% damage with stuff. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like that and just kind of see how it feels. I'm gonna put the stave in storage as well. Is she using the best one? Although it's less based... Devastating 12 on that is the thing. How am I actually going to switch that out? It does seem to give her better characteristics as well. Alright, I'll put that in storage. And maybe see if Abelard could use these. I'm going to stick that on. I'm going to stick that on. Right, we'll leave it there for now, and we'll leave the episode there for now. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, if you could hit that like button, that's always appreciated. Do leave a comment as well. Let me know what you thought about particularly our judgments in those trial cases, and the episode as a whole, and the DLC as a whole, indeed. And always interested to hear those opinions. And if you're watching this and not yet subscribed to the channel, if you could do that, that'd be fantastic. So thanks very much, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.